Now to add texture to the frame, I'll undo Control Z and just get my frame here. I would probably want to use Break to get the inside piece here. Select just the inside, then right click and go to Change Color, Texture, Align, and select Texture. So that's Control Shift O. And then I would look for the place on my computer where I keep my textures. So I will quickly go find my textures. I think I'll do it quickly. And I have all kinds of textures in here. There's some basil. Maybe I'll do dotted Swiss. Let me add a purple texture to that heart. And click on Open. Now I can transform that texture. I can tile it. I'm going to go ahead and tile it, and I can adjust the color. If I don't like that shade, I can change it to blue or whatever hue that I would like. I can change the gamma a little darker or lighter, and change the brightness, contrast. And when I'm happy with the settings, I can click on Apply there. And I could do a rotate to kind of change the angle if I wanted to do that. And I can scale the size, but I think that's probably fine. I'll click on OK. And now I have a texture inside. What I'll do is go to contrast so you can see the color there. So I do have this on the inside, but really I wouldn't, like Brian said, I wouldn't want to weld it because it would, let's weld it, see what happens. First I'm going to put the blue on top, and I'm going to weld it. It makes the whole thing. It takes the characteristics of the shape that's on top. Now I'm going to undo that, Control Z, and move the heart to the top, the shadow layer, right click and move layer to top. And if I weld that, then it all becomes black. So if I want to add texture, I'm not going to be having a frame necessarily. What I probably would do is make it a two-piece. So undoing this here, I would cut out the black piece as a solid heart like this, and I would glue it onto my project and then do a print and cut for this light, or I could do a print and cut for the whole thing. I wouldn't have to do two colors. I could print and cut, so I could make this heart, maybe I might make it a dark blue and then print it. So if I go to Print Preview, I don't see it because my paper is smaller, so I'd have to move it over. Move this here and move this up here. Go to Print Preview, and then I could print this and cut it, add my registration marks, and go ahead and cut it this way. So it's one piece, but it has the two colors. So the making a border would be a little different. Or I could cut this piece and make the frame again with the minus inset, join it, and then cut both pieces out and lay one over the other. You click to change the handles, and I'm trying to, there it is, I'm trying to change the frame a little bit smaller here. So any other questions?
One just came in. How would you make the skinny frame a checkered checkerboard or linear texture. So I think so instead of the inside of the frame, making the skinny, the where you had the heart, yeah, like the upper left hand heart.
Okay.
Now.
So I will change the texture into color. And what kind of texture did you want?
She said either.
Remember, it's the last one you selected.
Yeah, she said a checkerboard or linear texture.
Okay, striped. Let me see. I think I probably have some like that. I have bubblegum stripes here. Okay. Now again, if you had straight up and down stripes and you wanted to change them, you could, but you see that in the repetition, this one is not what we call a perfect example of one you would use for tiling. This is just a JPEG image of paper. And if you get 1-inch samples of any paper you want, you can put them in your texture folder and then you can use them this way. But if they're made to be tiles, repositionable tiles, then repositionable tiles would repeat without noticeable little jags in the design like this has. So I think I have a folder of repositionable tiles. Again, to do that, I right-click, change color texture, select texture, and click on Choose Texture from File. And I think I would have to go back to my, oh, I know, we have some really nice tiles at Lettering Delights that you can change the colors of. Here's a red shiny thing, but here you see the multiplied, you see many different tiles there, so you can change the size of how it's tiled, or you can make it so there's lots of tiles, not very many. And I did that one. That's an interesting one. So you can kind of play with anything that you have in your collection of textures. And again, the ones that are made to be seamless tiles would be the ones that would work the best. See if I have any seamless tiles. You can find them online for free, but I recommend you be very, very careful about downloading from any random sites, because a lot of malware can get transported through these. Let's see. These are seamless tiles, so they should multiply cleanly. See if I find any stripes in here. Maybe this purple. So if I can scale them big or I can scale them small. I like that small one. And then you can change the angles. Kind of looks different when it's at an angle. And then just click OK when you're ready. And you see that it made a bunch of them, but they're all seamless, meaning you don't see any seams. So let me do the same one with this. Right click, select a texture. It should have saved it. Should have saved the
So if you already have it in the project, you can choose cancel out of this, and then choose the radio button at the top there where it says Choose Texture from Project, and then do the drop down, and then you can get that purple one again.
Okay. Yeah, I knew there was I haven't done textures in a long time, but that gives you this design. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see. I don't like the way the heart makes this kind of weird move in here, which is why I like to do it don't like to do a lot of inset or outset shadows. I would just almost rather
Well, don't forget that
just
was
resize it.
yeah, that was the you did an inset of a blackout of a frame
Right.
you had done multiple operations on before you did the blackout. So
Right.
there's probably a lot of nodes in there that it picked up that in perfect.
Gives you a chance to play with your node editing skills with this one. But anyway, you can add texture to anything. We could add texture to the family.
Yeah, and she said, by the way, perfect, awesome, thanks.
So this one could have the same thing. Again, you can right-click. It's kind of a neat effect. Oh, I see more mistakes here. So if I use my eraser on that, just erases it. You use a straight eraser, control on your eraser, it can control a little bit better.